Hello, this is Tom Britt. West Tennessee PBS is working hard to bring you more local shows and quality PBS programs. And they need your financial help because they don't run commercials, they rely on your support. It's easy to donate. Go to their website, westtnpbs.org, and click on the Donate tab. Your donations to Channel 11 stay local and help WLJT-TV continue their mission to be as local as possible.
President David, I was standing back there to do this, and I know you had 8 other things before then. I want to congratulate you on being president. As former president, I'll let you know this year goes by very quickly. For the rest of us, we're prepared for it to be the longest Rotary year of our life. It's my pleasure to introduce Beth Ann Simpson, who serves as the Director of Jackson Downtown Development, in the role she's held for the past 3 years. She first came to Jackson in 2005 to attend Lambeth University, which is now the University of Memphis at Lambeth, and has called the community her home ever since. She holds a master's degree in leadership and policy studies and brings over 12 years of experience in higher education, where she developed a strong foundation in building community, connecting people with resources, and working to eliminate barriers through advocacy and collaboration. Beth Ann lives in Midtown with her husband and 3 children, and together they are actively engaged in the downtown community, invested not just professionally but personally in the vibrancy and future of the city. Let's give a big, warm Rotary welcome to Beth Ann Simpson.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank you, Mayor, for the intro. Oh, it is on. Good. It's wild to me that I have been in Jackson for 20 years. Came to Lambeth, and have gotten to witness the growth of downtown and have a front row seat to that. So it's been really a cool full circle moment to now be in this role, for being a college student and truly not having much to come downtown for other than maybe the tavern. And then I was a new staff member at Lambeth when Hal Crocker and Henry Turley came and presented these grand vision plans for downtown and Midtown. And so getting to see that process unfold and then watch it all happen, and now get to really enjoy it, and then get to be in this role to cheer it on is truly a full circle moment. And I really hope that you can tell when I talk about downtown how much I love it, and love living here, living in Midtown, downtown. I wouldn't want to do life anywhere else. We truly do life in about a 1-mile radius, from walking our kids to school to their piano lessons to swim lessons back at Lambeth. We live on Lambeth Boulevard and then do all of our activities downtown. So we wouldn't have it any other way, and I'm grateful to be in this role. I do feel like I'm speaking to a room full of downtowners. Like, you love and know downtown well, just by glancing at the room. So I hope that I tell you something maybe you don't know that's either going on or something in the works in the future. So I hope that you take away something. I also know that this room is full of knowledge of the history of downtown and where it's been, far more than I know, I'm sure. And so I'm really going to focus on kind of where we are and where I hope we're going. Did I turn this on? Okay. For those that don't know, several years ago there was kind of a transition and restructure of JDDC, and that's when I came on board in 2022. And JDDC's mission and board as a nonprofit stayed intact, but there was strategic planning and investment from the city of Jackson, and the co came on board to say, we will staff this and help support this. And without those 2 initial partners, it wouldn't have been able to be revived and restructured as quickly as it was. So I do appreciate the folks that were a part of that process and keeping JDDC alive and well to keep promoting and advocating for downtown. And something I'll note too, as a partner, as we've been in reinvesting and reigniting JDDC, there's other partners that have obviously come along. The Chamber, JEA, other businesses have stepped in to support JDDC, and I'm so thankful for that. As part of being in the Main Street accreditation with both the state of Tennessee and nationally, which we've been accredited over 25 years. we are required to do certain things to keep that accreditation, and with that comes a network of resources, grant opportunities, things like that. And so I don't want to fail to mention our network there at the state level and national level as well, and the things that come from being a Main Street organization. And one of those things they require us to do is an annual report. And so I'm not going to go through all of that, but I'm just going to highlight a few snapshots of the last 3 years, just to kind of let you see the growth and momentum that's happening downtown. There you can see new businesses that have come into downtown, either relocated or they're new businesses that decided to establish downtown. Last year we netted 21 new businesses. We saw over $7.5 million invested, both in public and private investment. We've seen year after year rehab projects. People are buying property and renovating them and improving our infrastructure. And then we're also seeing new construction. Most of that is housing. With those 42 new housing units are Jackson Walk phase that are online now, and people are moving in, and we're excited about that. There's also some other apartments that are coming online hopefully later this year in the core of downtown on Lafayette, and we're excited about that as well. So lots of good momentum, investment being made in downtown, and new businesses being attracted to come and join us. I say that, but I also say there's still work to be done. There's still businesses to recruit and vacancies to fill, and so I want you to know that we want you to partner with us and connect us to people and keep us moving forward. If you haven't been downtown in a while, with all these new businesses, I mean, already in 2025, I think we've shared 10 new businesses that have joined us in 2025. So I have a feeling, even if you spend a lot of time downtown, surely there's something you haven't explored or you've missed. And so one of the things we want to prioritize, and what we did prioritize when we took on, and the co helped us with our marketing and communications, is to put all this information somewhere. So if you aren't utilizing our website or following us on Instagram and Facebook, I know that might not be everybody's means of communication, but I just want you to know that this does exist, and we have a full directory of what you can find downtown, and we try to do a good job of sharing those things online. Something we are working on, because I know that's not for everyone, we are working on a point of interest map that's a physical map that you'll get at businesses, and it's going to have your retail and restaurant stops and major event venues and entertainment places to go and see. And that's largely for visitors, but it's for our residents too, because often I think that people know what's going on, and then I get on what's happening in Jackson and realize they don't. They may not see what's happening downtown or think that nothing is going on. And I can attest that downtown has a lot happening. From Home Soul, which is a new home furnishing store that is really impressive, and you need to go see it. It's got a wine bar inside. You've got new shopping at Dressed and Taylor Lane Boutique. There's new event space. There's new Franklin's Little Bar. I think they're claiming they're the smallest bar in America. Let's just go with that. Go with it. It's a really cute little pub. You need to go explore that. We have new restaurant, Central Creek, you need to go and experience. There's lots to see and do. There's new ownership at the Tavern and Sassafras Boutique. And like I said, several new businesses are even in the works for this year. So if you haven't been in a while, well, let's just poll. How many of you have maybe eaten at a restaurant downtown in the past week? Oh, good. So see, I am talking to a lot of downtowners. But not everyone's hand was raised. How many of you have attended an event downtown in the last month? Okay, good. I knew I was in good company. But I think one of the things you can do to continue our growth and support of downtown is attending those things and showing up and shopping small and eating at our local restaurants. We're always so excited when they open their doors, but if we don't continue to populate them and go and support these small businesses and these restaurants and these spaces, then they will not continue to be there, and we won't increase that either. We won't new and continue to grow and move that forward. So one of the things that, in addition to our online directory and events calendar, it's kind of our most visited space on our website is our events calendar. While JDDC kind of got out of the way from planning events and festivals, we really try to be a resource and promote what is happening. And there are a lot of things that our organizations and businesses are doing to keep foot traffic and activity alive downtown. We promoted over 300 events last year, from festivals to workshops, and we promoted over 140 businesses downtown through our platform. So that's just kind of a snapshot of what the activity we're seeing downtown, and why I feel confident that there is plenty happening that people can get involved in. And then we kind of shifted our focus that if we were going to do programming from JDDC, that it would be economic-driven programming that's really there to help our small businesses increase foot traffic in maybe times where it's a little slower. So things like the Lavender Trail, which we just finished in June, the Holiday Passport Program that we'll do in the holidays again, you'll see that come around. And it's just to encourage people to go and explore small business, shop local. And then we also have collaborated with Jackson Arts Council Art Walks on First Fridays, and we just kind of blended our Food Truck Fridays with the Art Walk and made First Fridays downtown, so it's in the evening after getting some feedback. And so we did that series in April, May, and June, and then took a break in the hot, really extreme temperatures, and then that will be back. That series will be back September through November, the first Friday. So please mark your calendars and plan to join us on those evenings where we have art walk, live music, food trucks, and businesses are staying open late. So make plans to join us then. We also host Yoga in the Park, which is funded by the city's Love Your Block program to access free exercise and activate downtown green spaces, and that was in partnership with the Lift and several other yoga centers in town. And so we continue that throughout the year. That's a few things we do. Well, another highlight that we like to talk about and its success, in addition to small business support and promotion, JDDC manages The Local, which is this micro retail development space that's been in existence since end of 2017. And we've had, it's an incubator space for those that don't know, for businesses to test out brick and mortar and have low overhead and extra support. I think it was originally funded by the Tennessee ECD's Placemakers Grant and the Revenue Finance Corporation and some in-kind donations, and these little shops that really have had a big impact on downtown and the Jackson community. Out of 15 tenants we've had in those years, 8 of them have graduated to larger space, most of those being downtown. So we really feel like it's being a catalyst for small business downtown. And I wanted to just highlight that the partnership with the Co extends here as well. They provide small business support for those tenants, as well as those at Soul Collective, which is in the train depot in on South Royal. If you haven't been over there to the train depot or the Neely House to see those businesses, you really are missing out. And that Soul Collective is a incubator space for Black-owned businesses, and I encourage you to support them as well and the work that they're doing to get their businesses off the ground. Currently at The Local, I just wanted to highlight what's new there because we just filled all those spots and we're excited about the tenants that are there. So if you haven't made it over to The Local, go to the farmers market on Saturday and then cross over. You'll see new art all at the farmers market and on your path walking over to The Local, and enjoy that. There's Atelier Hats, which is custom hats that she makes from scratch, from the beginning, and you get to watch her in her workshop doing that. Sonder Finery is a flower pressing shop and a live fresh flower bar, and then Gildan Bakehouse just opened in July, and it's a bakery downtown, and you need to go have that. It's phenomenal. And then Loaded Juice is a food truck that's parked behind The Local as part of our tenant group, so please go out and support them. Another role for JDDC is to advocate for resources and be a part of the planning of future growth and development. And we were excited that right when I took the job in 2022, we were awarded a smaller amount, but we were awarded a downtown improvement grant from the state, and we focused on a small area of Church and Main and improved several buildings there. with local match, and we were able to enhance those facades, do some public art on the crosswalks, and just do some beautification in that little strip. And so we've actually got a second round where we were awarded $300,000 from the state, and that will be to improve another, hopefully up to 15 buildings in our downtown district, to improve the facades with paint, pressure washing, doors, windows, signage, those kind of things, to really improve the infrastructure. So we're excited to be working on that, and hopefully see the impact of that over the next few years. A few other things to just note that have happened or in the process. We were excited to be a part of the new sub-area plans for downtown and airways, and hopefully that will guide future work, and we're glad to have a plan in place and a vision cast. And you can find those on the city's website, on downtown's website. We have them both linked there for people to see what came of those planning processes over the last couple of years. Citywide wayfinding plans are in the works. We know how much we need both vehicular and walkability signage all across Jackson, but specifically in downtown. And so we're working on a plan there, and some of these grant funds will be used to start putting those in major corridors downtown. We also received a food-based planning grant from the state this year in collaboration with the CO. And so we're having someone, Proof, come out of Chattanooga, come and assess kind of where we are for next steps for food-based businesses downtown to help them grow. We've really got a plan for the future for restaurants downtown, and be kind of creating a stepping stone into getting into those spaces. And so we're looking at kind of a local part 2 and some iteration of that over the next year or so. So that's exciting. There's Central Creek development that is moving forward over by the roundabout, and we're excited about what that will become. And I've already mentioned Jackson Walk phases that will be rolling out over the next few months, with new apartments becoming online, and the Lafayette apartments too. And if anything we've learned in Main Street workshops and downtown conversations with other downtowns across the nation is we really know that rooftops equal restaurants that equal retail. So we know how much how important it is to have residential units, people living in and near your downtown, and then how that in turn supports our restaurant and retail development. And so I really feel like we're on the right path to continuing to create a thriving downtown. Speaking of the things that I think have been invested, that have been strategic in continuing this growth and development, is our investment into the arts. We are already an arts and culture sector and center for our community, and we know how much activity happens between our major event venues for the arts. If you haven't been to an AMP show or the NED or been to the Carnegie recently and their improvements both in their space as well as the events they're providing, you really are missing out. I would encourage you to come experience something within the arts downtown. I think it's truly a highlight. And then one of the things if you haven't noticed, over the last year, the City of Jackson and Our Jackson Home partnered to invest in public art installations, and the plan is to do that in this upcoming year as well, and really focus on developing the arts district. And so if you haven't seen, there's 2 new murals at the farmers market. They kind of focused on a specific area to really see impact. So you've got 2 large murals, one at the AMP and one at the farmers market. You've got the one that's on the sidewalks that walks over, kind of connects you to the local. They've also got some temporary signage that's on the sidewalks that highlights each of our public art pieces downtown. And then a functional art piece will be going in the farmers market, Anderson Park area pretty soon. I think it's later this summer. So they've been able to do a lot in a short amount of time, and we're excited to see what's next for them and how that keeps adding to the infrastructure and experience of downtown. So we're excited about that. I pulled this from a recent conference with Downtown Retail Strategies, and I just think it really helps to show the work we're doing all together downtown, our partners, city, our chamber, our other entities like our Jackson Home, our property owners, when we invest in public infrastructure with public art events and activities, then that really improves our activity and foot traffic, which leads to investor confidence and business growth. And I really think that we're on that right track, and it's not to say that we don't have a lot of work to do and things to improve upon and vacancies to fill, but I do think that we've got a lot of great people in positions and organizations involved that are really investing in downtown to continue its momentum, and I'm really grateful for that. So if you have a contact to share or a desire to get involved with downtown and you aren't already, we welcome you to join us. I would love an opportunity to chat with you on ways you can get involved in volunteering, donating, sponsoring a program, because as you know, the health and vibrancy of our downtown impacts our entire community's livability, and it's all of our responsibility to keep this positive momentum going. So I welcome a further conversation with any of you if that is something that you feel led to do and get more involved in downtown. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have or return and revisit a topic I talked about. I don't know, how am I on time? I'm good?
Time for several questions.
Okay. Any questions? Yes.
Downtown is really vibrant. How many small businesses are there?
Well, I promote about 140 just throughout the year. That's probably not every small business because not all of them am I promoting on social media. So I'd have to look back on an actual number to give you, but that's how many we're promoting annually. Yeah, it is. Yes, and I know how many. We're having to do an inventory update for Main Street, and we have in our downtown district 705 buildings. So it's large, and that's obviously not all our small businesses, but it's pretty big inventory. So I would imagine it's more than 140 small businesses, but that's how many we're interacting with regularly. Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here. This was a very interesting program. I noticed you listed, I think, 48 new units added this last year, residential units. You mean homes?
Those were apartment units. 42 are coming online. Chris, do you want to share any more about Jackson Walks Phase 3?
Those 42 units specifically are in one apartment building on Johnson Street, Mrs. Johnson. We still have plans. We have 3 more buildings that are going up on Talbot Street, where West Jackson Elementary used to be, and there'll be 90 units there, so a total of 132 that will be completed by Thanksgiving. And of those 42 units that just came online, yeah, we just started having tenants move in about 2 weeks ago. So, looking to get those
Yeah.
filled up.
And then Prosper has apartment units that will be available, I think, later this year. How many will they have on Lafayette Street, Camille?
There's 14 that are about to open around September and October.
Okay, September and October, 14 units like in the core of downtown, which is really exciting. And we're hoping to see more of that. Other questions? Yes.
What are some of the dream businesses that you would love to see come to downtown?
Oh, I love that question. Yes. Well, we've talked a lot about a bakery, and we're glad to see one in the local as kind of in our incubator space, but I would love to see that grow into a full, one of these old buildings downtown as the full bakery. I just think we very much need that. Fresh bakery. She does sourdough and all sorts of pastries, and I hope that keeps going well for her. So I would love to see that. Let's see. I would love to see. This is just me personally. I think if the trailhead starts, if that moves forward, and we have this trailhead that starts in the core of downtown, I would love to see some like outdoorsy store, bike shop, like something like that near that would help folks that are wanting to be more active, and so that's another dream. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head. A few favorites. Yeah, it's a hotel, which maybe working on, but I do think those overnight stays are so important to the success of downtown. It's if we can have a hotel and people are parking their car, not moving it, and just enjoying downtown all weekend. That overnight stay would be so helpful. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That incubator space that you mentioned, you also mentioned you guys are looking for more restaurants downtown. Is that space only available to restaurants or other initiatives, maybe like you trying out new businesses, a business plan or a model to do that in that space?
Yeah, so right now the local's really not set up for food-based businesses. We converted one for this bakery, and we realized when we got applications for the local that there were more and more that were food-based businesses versus retail. So that's what got us thinking. And there's a lot of food trucks that can't make it out of their trucks to go into brick and mortar. It's just this big hurdle. And so we really feel like the needs of our community are to build something or work with partners to get a next phase that is geared towards food-based businesses. But between Soul Collective and the local, I'd love to chat more if you have someone specifically in mind of just how we can connect them and get them started. There's a great food-based program called Scale Up that the Co is doing right now that would be so good for someone starting out that's new or wanting to do this, that would kind of help prep until there is maybe a space available. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Have you thought about having one of the buildings that could serve multiple small restaurants, or eateries where people could come in and eat with their
Yes, like a food hall situation. Yes, and that's what our hope is from this assessment plan. There's lots of different models in other communities, from a shared commercial kitchen space that's just rented out for a kitchen versus a food hall concept where you're coming in and there's different bays. Going back to Melinda's question, I would love a food hall of some sort where you come in and you've got all these different options in one location. Someone posed the idea too of we have such great food offerings when we do the International Food and Arts Festival. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we had an international food hall where you could have those things at your disposal all the time? So that's a dream too. Yeah. Other questions? Yes, sir. Who do I use? I've written the grants that we've gotten for the Downtown Improvement Grant, but we are recently tasked, we have to share our admin work with Southwest Development District, so they're helping us admin it, but I have written them up until this point. Yes. Yes, yes. Well, we're grateful for that. Yeah, you do have to find it, but I do think that several great projects we've done in Jackson have been, Tennessee ECD grant money that we've really been a catalyst for us. So we're really grateful for that. I get a lot of questions about small business grants. My small businesses want grants, and those are just hard to come by. There's one out right now for our small businesses that I just shared with them, but it's a national grant. So it's just very competitive and tough. So the other question I get from my small businesses is, how can we get in front of investors, people that will back us in a restaurant? Or, we get that question a lot too. So it's just trying to connect them to the right people that maybe have a little more capital. So, yes, sir.
People like to, we talk about eating and drinking, they like to do it on rooftops, on sidewalks.
Yes.
Are there barriers to keep that?
I always hear that this is like, people want this and it's in our plans. I would love to see, even if we took over one street, I'm saying, mayor's behind you there, where we give a street diet to the road, where we narrow a street and you expand your sidewalks, where you can have more outdoor seating on the patios, or rooftop bars and patios are very cool too. And I've heard several people with rumblings of that, but nothing that's come to fruition just yet. But I would love to see more of that, even if it's a smaller section. We just have some wide roads in downtown, and that our sidewalks don't give a lot of room for that. So we'd have to get creative about our solutions, and that definitely can be done. So we'll keep pushing for that. Need to talk to Stan. Stan here? Nah.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering,
So true. You know, we talk a lot about this because it's hard because in reality it's very walkable. But the perception is that people want to park right by their building. And I have people that will park over on Saturday morning at the farmer's market and then get back in their car and drive over to Turntable Coffee when it's very walkable to walk from the farmer's market to Turntable. So it's just I saw another community do this and I thought it was just so impactful. They put their downtown district, they overlaid it with a Walmart parking lot, like an image, and showed that you walk further in a Walmart parking lot than you do downtown. It's not a straight vision you can't see your building and it's not a straight shot. So it's really just trying to send out messaging, and we've tried to do that, and we're continuing to do that by doing a walkability campaign and working on our wayfinding signage for our lots. I think there's just misconceptions too about where people can park and we've got plenty of parking. It's just a perception of people not wanting to park in the lots and walk a little bit to their destination versus parking right in front. So they'll just circle around until they find something. So that's just a cultural, issue that we have to continue to work on and educate people. And it's something we try to do through our website and social media. But I do think that downtown is very walkable. There's obviously some spots that could be improved upon when there's kind of a lack of activity or businesses, but we're working to fill those gaps. But and then to your question about our target, I think we do a really good job of lunchtime crowd, daytime crowd. The farmers market Saturday morning is thriving. It's our evening activities that's slowly taking off, but getting people to come down here and do live music and dinner and do multiple things while they're downtown, and getting that college-age student to come downtown and really spend time here in the evenings. And I think there's more offerings now than there's ever been, and that's exciting, but we still have some work to do to really get that nightlife there where we want it. Yeah. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
The program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.